Now let's look at the next question. Okay, so now we are out of the gate scenario. Let's look at this question. Suppose you are organizing a meeting with 1,000 participants where a participant may speak any one of the 10 languages. Now we need to ensure that all the people who speak a particular language need to be seated together. How do we do that? So this question is also a bit open-ended. There are certain aspects which are unaddressed. Let's try to look at it. We do not know if we can collect some historical data to address this question, but let's assume that we can do that for the time being. So it may very well be designed as a supervised classification task, but it also may be an unsupervised task as well. So let's say it's again the question supervised or unsupervised. So let's see why we say it's supervised, because yeah, I just need to collect labeled information. I can convert it into a supervised task where I will take a person. I will say this person has to go to a particular seat. That's it. It's kind of straightforward in that sense. But I will argue for an unsupervised setting here. If we read closely, we do not need to identify which language is spoken by an individual. We just need to group all the individuals who speak the same language. So in a supervised setting, it would suffice just to predict the language of a person, then I can put them all together. But it requires a lot of extra effort in terms of labeling a lot of data. Here, if you look at the problem requirement, we don't need to identify which language is spoken by an individual. We just need to make sure that people who speak the same language are put together. So I don't need a label based on the problem. If I want, I can collect it, but by problem definition, it is not a requirement. So if there is an extra effort that needs to be justified, here that cannot be justified. I can do the same job without really collecting the labeled information. All I need to know is to group individual people together. It doesn't matter whether a particular group is Hindi speaking or Malayalam speaking. As long as a group speaks the same language, it's fine. So I think by grouping, by saying that there is no label, it becomes obvious that it makes sense to perform clustering as it can fulfill the problem requirements without putting in any extra effort for the collection of label data. So I will say it is unsupervised, and naturally we have already looked into clustering, so clustering in unsupervised.